So good afternoon, everyone, and my respect to all the members present here and the organizing committee. The first thing, of course, when we speak about the topic at hand today, is the governance which is present in the constitutional scheme of things and how the federal structure is affected by uh, uh, various political and non-political issues at hand. But before anything, we first have to understand that constitutional governance may not always fail if there is a quasi-federal kind of a structure. So that is my discussion today. So when power is shared between the center and political units, uh, we are unlike the system in America. We are not a completely federal kind of a system, and the constitutional makers, when they decided on giving certain discretion to the union as compared to what discretion is not present in the United States of America. I think that there were no there is no comparison of the challenges which India and uh, countries like USA can be compared with, because the challenges in a federal system which we follow are different from what the challenges are there in another country like United States. So we are following this quasi-federal form of government, and this system is actually something which is addressing the challenges of the the country which is India, that is Bharat, which is a union of states, as is written in Article 1. So, if you largely see union and the state governments, there is a division of powers in the seventh schedule, in the union list, state list, and the concurrent list, and then there is a basic structure of the constitution which we have to follow. And when we say we have to follow, so when we talk about this basic structure, we have to understand that whatever is written in the red letter of the law has to be followed in letter and spirit. But by saying so, the judiciary has done its remarkable job of, especially in terms of passing of ordinances, which is the legislative power given to the president and the governor in cases like S.R. Bommai, and the cases in fact Dr. Krishna Kumar was also mentioning about. So there's this realism which happened in judicial arena, which brought a halt to the powers of the governor or the president from the bringing them into the scope of judicial review. And if you talk about it today, whatever happened after Bommai is still applicable today. So whether it was any government at that time, whether the Janata government or the Congress government or even BJP today, so we cannot say that any government can misuse that power of ordinance or that kind of discretion which the union has on the state. So federalism is not as affected as it was before the 44th Amendment. So you're bringing some kind of partial, you can say, rigidity to the constitutional scheme, and because we have a very clear independent judiciary. Of course, there are a lot of questions which are raised, which are beyond the scope of law. As a lawyer, what we can say is whether it is bicameralism or federalism or independence of judiciary, whatever is written in the law is being followed by the courts even today. So there's a strong center, of course, and states have to comply with the central laws, because Article 200 also talks about it. Article 200 in the Constitution itself, which is what is being what can be said as something which is coming from straight from the Constitutional Assembly draftsmen who have created these articles, which we see as quasi-federal even today. So there is a single constitution, of course. Because we don't follow something like a written constitution in America, which has a state level constitution and federal constitution. We have there are separate. So we have envisaged it. We had envisaged it ever since. So there's a single constitution, single citizenship, and there are emergency provisions which are giving some kind of flexibility to the center to uh, take care of the states. I wouldn't say that it is uh, all misused always. So federalism, which is a most important and relevant feature of constitutionalism, definitely is present um, in a quasi state in India, it's keeping the socio-cultural and these economic issues in mind, which because states are less powerful, they're not that as powerful as the constituent states in the United States of America, because we have a lot of regions in the country. There's of course monetary issues where the central government has a lot of responsibility for the states. The central government also has to plan for each and every state, um, and therefore it cannot afford to go beyond what is there in the constitution. At the same time, and because there is some kind of responsibility, so we have to see it as a responsibility rather than taking over. So even if it is looking like unequal representation, it should be construed as something which is preventing a greater evil. So centralized amending power and uh, you know, these powers given to the union, um, yes, they are what the constitution calls for, and that is how the constitution makers that made the constitution as. Yes, that there is an element of discretion which makes it arbitrary sometimes, which has to be eliminated through other ways. But the constitution itself, I don't see that eh, being required amendments. At least we don't require amendments today in the parts of the governor, or even if you see there are a lot of questions on the powers of proclamations done by the governor and the president. So I think we can rest at that, and of course, uh, uh, that is see the point is where we stand is we had this constitution ever since, and because it is rigid, we cannot change it, because it is uh, even the three, in Article 368, which is the amendment clause, this also is something which is completely not amenable. So the challenges are many, of course, but as we see, whatever is there in the written text is being followed, and amendments are probably a political issue, as much as I can talk of today. So I rested that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
What we have gathered in our discussion here, which happened offline, we were raising a point that there should be enough room for them. I think both Krishna Kumar sir and Bhavana are listening.
Yes, sir.
There should be enough room for democracy and inclusiveness in center-state relations. For example, Dr. Chola Raja has recommended or suggested that in the selection of governor, there should be democracy. Like it should not be an arbitrary appointment intended to put forward some agenda in an opposition-ruled state. There should be a panel of eminent personalities from which only governors could be selected. And Dr. Sunny sir has rightly remarked about the kind of promotion or demotion of languages. Like more than 5,000 distinctive languages and cultures are in existence in this country. But the powerful people who are in power are promoting certain languages, like that Sanskrit has been given big allotment, and certain other languages like Oriya or kind of Marathi kind of languages are given very much less or uh, meager allotment. So this kind of undemocratic practices should be avoided. So what can be done in accordance with the constitution, whether we can go for a creation of additional provisions in the constitution, like amending the constitution, putting one more article, or strengthening the existing provisions which deals with the powers and functions of governor. For example, in Kerala, what happens is
Yes, sir.
holding more than a dozen bills, and the state cannot do anything. State can simply request. The governor is keeping the bill endlessly without assigning any reason what a state can do. So there are so many questions. We are interested in getting the opinion of our learned members on these points also. Bhavana and
Yes, sir. So as far as the paper, the topic I chose to speak was unrelated to these discretions, and of course the arbitrary nature of misuse of discretion. So that was away from what any political this thing. So yes, you're right, and I think I missed some discussion in the beginning, but you're right in holding that there should be some kind of procedure like we do this indirect representation kind of a thing where in the case of the president. So some kind of procedure is required to appoint the governor, and also there should be like uh, there should be a clause inserted where there could be, I can't say should be, there could be a clause inserted where there is a way where if a bill lapses after 6 months or maybe 9 months, some time period, including the adjournments and of the state assemblies. There could be some provision where we can say that the bill would lapse or the bill would pass. The bill would pass to the assembly. So yes, we can have such kind of a provision.
Kumar sir and Bhavana Rao, even though they were unable to come personally to participate in the event, they have made their presence through online mode. On behalf of the Global Research Conference Forum and Department of Law, Central University of Kerala, I express my sincere gratitude to Dr. N. Krishna Kumar sir, as well as Madam Bhavana Rao.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to talk. And I am really unfortunate that I could not come personally there because we had an event here in UPS. So, but all my heart is there and belongs to Central University right now. So, all best wishes to everyone. And I'm here, so I'm watching the other presentations.
Happy about it. Okay, thank you.